Long ago in a bygone time, Cartoon Network, the once great master of animation, unleashed an amazing show upon the world. A show that featured a samurai misplaced in time, trying to find his way home in order to defeat a powerful foe, all while trying to survive in a future he seeks to erase. It was mature, thought-provoking, powerful, and full of much talent and style. But everything changed when the ratings became a most bothersome factor. It appeared that, at the time, people had grown bored, and a movie was out of the question after the apparent poor reception of the Powerpuff Girls film. So the series altogether was cancelled. "11 years later, a stir from the network caused a celebration like no other. A new season was to come, one last hurrah for the series to truly conclude on. It would offer more mature elements and an epic tale which would make the over-decade-long wait well worth the time spent pining for a worthwhile conclusion. Finally, the tale of our beloved samurai will have a definite end, which will hopefully involve him accomplish this most vexing of missions. But an ending cannot exist without a beginning, which made its debut on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim on March 11th, 2017. '92 begins with a non-human mother, her daughter, and an infant child running away from their destroyed city, and the beetle drones that now encircle them. Just when it appears all hope is lost for the family, a mysterious warrior clad in black armor charges at the robots on a weaponized motorcycle, his face a frozen expression of rage. The warrior brutally hacks, slices, and crushes the robots, even after one of them slices his face clean off, only to reveal his true face. It is Samurai Jack, the legendary warrior who once stood firm in opposition against the all-powerful being known as a Aku. His ragged, bearded face is contorted in pure rage as he finishes his work, only to ride off into the sunset on his new motorcycle, not stopping to check on the family as he would have done in the past. It is then revealed in what is assumed to be the new introduction for the series that 50 years have passed for Samurai Jack, but in spite of his new beard, he does not age. The tone of his voice and the visuals presented to the audience show that Jack is clearly in a state of despair and hopelessness as he comes to see that Aku's dreaded influence spreads throughout time. Jack is at a loss as to what he should do from this point forward. What follows from this point on is two separate stories: Jack's current state of mind and the rise of a cult who raises 7 young girls to become assassins meant to kill Jack. The latter starts with a disturbing scene that would have never made it into the original animation: the actual birth of the assassins. While nothing explicit is shown, thankfully, the visual of a pregnant woman screaming as 7 infants are carried to an altar made in Aku's image is still unnerving, to say the least. Their future training is no better, as the black sheep of the group, Ashi, proves to be tenacious and murderous, no thanks to her mother's cruel teachings. Not much apart from their training is shown in this episode, apart from the brief character development given to Ashi, as she grows up from a curious, fanciful child to a brutal killer ready to prove her worth. I look forward to seeing her and her sisters in future episodes. Meanwhile, Jack's tale has truly taken a turn for the disturbing. As I said before, the visuals in the introduction convey a feeling of despair emanating from the samurai. The next sequence of events shows just how deep Jack's feelings run. As he seemingly wanders aimlessly on his metal steed, avoiding any signs of danger, Jack suffers from hallucinations of his parents and the people from his own time who have all died under the tyranny of a coup. Whether through a literal river of corpses or a hellish vision seen through flames, their words are disturbing to the samurai as they claim he has lost his purpose, forgetting about his kingdom and his people, simply letting them die. But the worst part is an enigmatic figure shrouded in darkness and tinted by a foul green, who rides on horseback while clad in his own hellish armor. That is when Jack runs away, screaming his head off, as if he has seen the very specter of death, towards a pillar of smoke that has haunted him just as much as his demented visions. As Jack heads towards the smoke, he discovers a village that has been completely decimated by a single culprit, who has been waiting for the samurai ever since. The culprit is a robotic braggart called Scaramouche, an assassin sent by a coup to find Jack. The robot mocks Jack for his almost trademark scowl and lack of magic sword, which has apparently been lost in previous seasons. Jack is having none of it, however, as he eventually strikes at his foe in quick successions, showing that he still has some fight left in him. Scaramouche is thrilled, playing his flute, which manipulates the surrounding rubble into forming warriors and weapons. When the flute is eventually destroyed, he starts to sing scat music, which supposedly brings his sword to life, all while brandishing a dagger/tuning fork that can destroy any opposing object by tuning itself to the object's natural vibrations and increasing them to the point of destruction. Fortunately, Jack takes advantage of the dagger's properties by essentially turning his own weapon into a grenade, gaining the upper hand in the process, and finally ending the battle in a very brutal fashion. The episode ends with this bittersweet victory, and the 7 fully grown and trained assassins charging out of their lair into the world with one mission: kill the samurai. All in all, the episode was quite a rush as we watched Jack dealing with his personal demons and the assassins being raised to eventually go toe-to-toe with the samurai of old. You truly feel bad for Jack as you see him fight his inner demons and grief, and you want him to overcome his future trials with not only Ashi and her assassin sisters, but also the other enemies Aku has sent out to find his stoic enemy. Speaking of, there is a sense of looming dread when it comes to the Master of Darkness, as he is rarely seen or heard in this episode, with the exception of the altar the assassins were born upon, which can only mean that this final season will be building up to a final battle with the shape-shifting demon, who Genndy Tartavosky has seemingly found a decent replacement voice actor for in the absence of the late Mako Iwamatsu. All I can say for certain is that I look forward to seeing more from Samurai Jack's final season, which will continue this upcoming Saturday on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim at 11 p.m. But in the meantime, never stop rambling. Thanks for watching.